I recently had just got out of juvenile hall, and then I was thinking about what my PO was telling me. She was telling me like you got talent, like, because I was just rapping, getting on one of the homies' heads, and she was like, no, like you got talent, like you should take this serious. So when I got out, I was rapping in the homie garage and shit, and even those songs was going up, like we're in the city that I was at in Victorville and shit, and it was spreading throughout the IE and shit. So I was like, oh shit, and that was bullshit to me. Well, to me that shit was nonsense, but. So I really started taking it serious, and then I met Adrian and Colin. I met my manager. So it's like, you feel me? Ever since then, they was taking me to real studios. They had me like, you feel me? They was taking me to real studios, real performances. They had got me right. I didn't even know it was like that. And Everlasting King, I had. That's when I went to jail, homie. Mm-hmm. So I went to jail after I dropped In My City as a single. I went to jail because of the music video, but some of them songs already had one maybe or two I had done. But when I got out, I said I want like fresh new ones, so I got in the studio and it was working. Then we put it together and then we just dropped it. I don't know. Oh, while being in there, well, I mean, I just kind of just cool in there, I guess. Like I was writing music every day. Like I came out with like 100 songs. And I only used 2, which was the In My City and Different Varieties, from the first time I ever got locked up. And like I just wrote like songs every day, probably songs I would never do. But that's how you keep your mind, like, you feel me, active, and you won't lose your flow. That's how I kept my flow. I wrote like 1 million songs in there within the little like 2 months or however long I did. But it came from my career, like me getting my own crib and me, like, you feel me, getting my own car, like me, like, be able to do all that shit, like, while shit's just kicking off already. That shit makes me like pat my shit on the back. I mean, yeah, I be appreciating those moments right there. I don't know, if you get into music and everything, like to everybody who's trying to get into music and everything, like you might change like completely, like you might turn into a whole different person. Like this shit takes over people, like I don't know, and it changes niggas for sure. It'll change your own family members, your peoples, anybody. Like that shit'll change them. My mom was like, cause I was in and out of jail at the time, so she thought that was a great idea. Like she was like, you feel me, like yeah, that's what you should do, like, cause she noticed that music was keeping me out of juvenile hall a lot until I started going to jail for music. But she understood though, like, you feel me, like for me, because they can't really do nothing like just because I have guns in music videos, but it's because I'm on probation that they can get me. A regular person, they see guns in video, they can't do nothing if they don't find the guns. They never found no guns or anything, but still arrested me for videos. And then In My City, oh, he was in San Bernardino, arrest him, like they just arrested me.